This is the Devac Infrastructure Summit at the Marriott Hotel at Melrose Arch in Johannesburg. And Lesedi was fortunate to get an invitation to join session C7 as a panelist. And at the discussion, there were two primary questions that the panel was asked to respond to. The first is how the industry can assist to create a future-ready workforce that will meet the demands of a growing economy. And secondly, how the skills gap in the industry can be bridged. The takeaway for us as Lesedi was the fact that there is a need for professionals, artisans and tradesmen, and also supervisors in the industry to get closer to practical application of their skills. In other words, an opportunity to bridge the gap between their academic schooling and the challenges that they will be facing in the real world. Lesedi is bringing a huge amount of energy to the skills development of tradesmen and professionals in our industry. And I think that there is an opportunity here for Lesedi to make a difference in that space. We had the opportunity to explain the company programs that are in place with respect to bursaries, taking on board of candidate engineers, learnerships, and so on. But also, Lesedi is doing a very successful job of training people at the Skills Academy at Atlantis to be ready for assimilation into the industry, specifically in the nuclear energy industry. And we are exporting and selling those skills internationally. That's a feather in our cap. And I believe that as the energy industry in South Africa starts to reorganize itself, as the other parts of our business start to grow, the demands on the Skills Academy will grow. And the good work that we're doing there should continue. Of course, the skills gap is one that speaks to the dynamic of supply and demand in this economy. And as we saw from the unemployment numbers that were published in the last week, there appears to be no shortage of skills in South Africa. In fact, there is an oversupply. But that oversupply is a consequence of an economy that has found it very difficult to grow, and various other structural reasons, as we are all aware. And I'm convinced that when the economy starts growing, and as we as Lesedi take up a bigger portion of market share in our respective markets, the skills development challenge will solve itself.